This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, October the 17th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and it's been some glorious fall weather, and it looks like that's going to continue, although we have some changes coming up on Tuesday. Here's our Skycam network, and there's a look across the state. We'll start with Cullman in the north part of the state, and beautiful sunrise shaping up there. How about a look over, since it was a football weekend, over Troy Stadium down in Troy, Alabama, in the southeast part of the state. And then finally down at the Gulf Coast, that lone tree out there as we look at Dauphin Island Skycam, all of them having beautiful sunrises this morning. The big story apparently is that we have this ridge that's holding things right now, and that will allow us to warm into the lower 80s here. But we do have some changes coming, and that is a bit of a trough developing in the late Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. This morning, temperatures still a bit nippy as we look at the temperatures across central Alabama, ranging from about 36 at Gadsden to 45 at Birmingham. So a nice range of temperatures this morning. So if you're headed out early, it's going to require a bit of a jacket. QPF, we're still in need of rain, and speaking of that, we'll look at the drought monitor in just a minute, but not much expected. We do expect a front to move through the area, but as you can see, the QPF, they're not expecting much either. The rain is, the amount of moisture is just barely, there's just hardly enough there. It's going to be isolated, probably showers. But speaking of the drought conditions, and again, I'm not completely convinced, because I think of drought as being a very long-term thing, not just a dry spell of a couple of months. But anyway, here is the drought conditions. And as I mentioned yesterday, we go from extreme in the east central part, stretching down to the southwest part of the state, all the way to abnormally dry for a section of the northwest and a little bit of west central in there. So dry is definitely the word for now. The National Hurricane Center watching that area in the southwestern Caribbean, and that area, as you can see from satellite, is definitely not showing much signs of doing anything. All right, this is the 060 GFS model run. High pressure today will keep us high and dry. The flow continues to be rather strong across the westerlies, and we got a little short wave moving through the northern Gulf, but other than maybe a few clouds, I doubt that we'll see much more than that. Moisture, again, very limited in all of this, but you can see a little bit of moisture along that frontal system Monday. Tuesday, the trough begins to develop and leaving that closed low off of Southern California, but developing a low over the eastern half of the country. And then by Wednesday, we have a very good northwesterly flow and a fairly sharp trough moving through the eastern part of the country. And that should bring a front into the area, but as you can see from the GFS, and again, still looking like it's going to be very limited in moisture, and so not expecting a great deal of rain, which we really could use. The trough stays with us, keeping us cool, as a bit of a weak ridge to our west comes over us. That ridge comes over us on Friday, and as it does, it deflects that little trough coming out of the southwestern U.S., and that thing heads up into the western Great Lakes, but the ridge holding strong. So as you might expect, next Saturday, looks like with high over the Outer Banks, centered over the Outer Banks, we'll see rain off to the west. So at least something on radar, but not anything for us. And finally, it looks like for Sunday, we may be seeing a very, very major change as we see a very strong trough coming out of the southwest. And that trough comes our way on Monday. Now, I know we're edging into voodoo country, but as you can see from the surface map, it looks like that could develop into something very wet for us towards the latter part of the month. All right, let's go out into voodoo, well out, and there's the ridge. I think my name, Energizer Ridge, really has stuck this year because that seems to be big. But notice that huge closed low over the western part of the country. I don't know, sometimes when things are that big, you sometimes wonder if the GFS has overblown it. But there are some changes coming by the 1st of November, and look at the huge trough over the eastern half of the country. And definitely, I think it's about time that we saw some changes going on. Well, I appreciate you tuning into the Weather Extreme video. James Spann will be back with the next edition bright and early Monday morning. In the meantime, I hope that you have a great Sunday and enjoy this beautiful fall weather. Godspeed.
Each day, there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.